This episode of the FTW Podcast has been brought to you by FTWLive.com. We record every episode of our show in front of a live studio audience. Check out FTWLive.com to see how you can get involved in this discussion, as well as all upcoming discussions. Now, on to the show.
FTW Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the FTW Podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. I am Harrison, and with me as always is Joe. Say hello, Joe. Rob, say hello, Rob.
Hey.
And Garvin is manning the boards. Tonight is episode 126, coming to you live on August 7th, 2012. And on tonight's show, we're going to be talking about aces, eights, punks, JTGs, DBs, and much, much more. So stick around. If you're new to the show, check out FTWpodcast.com for more about us and how to get involved in tonight's show as well as upcoming shows. You can reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, voicemail, text message, email. All those links and information is listed right there. FTWLive.com is the place to be. Live chat is up and running, guys. We're getting ready to have some fun. But first things first, Garvin is going to react to last week's show. Take it away, buddy.
Well, I'm not going to react to last week's show. Our listeners reacted. They posted reactions on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Let's start off with the question of the week, which was submitted by our friends at Breaking Kayfabe. They're another wrestling podcast. Their question was, would you be excited if a promotion actually did seasons like a regular TV show? Pretty much everyone was against this, which isn't surprising. Judas Coltrane, who is an independent wrestler, he said, too much time off means no income. If they just ran house shows during that time off, it could possibly work to an extent. Bradley Chambers on Facebook, he said, I could see a promotion having the holiday season off, like a November, December type of thing, but then they would return in January. So, yeah, I think everyone's pretty much against it, and we're sort of against it. It would give people the time off, but, you know, I don't know.
I like the idea. I mean, if they could figure out a way to keep the income coming in, I really like the idea. I mean, financial reasons aside.
Sure. It's a very diva Christmas. I mean...
No, I mean, you let the guys... regular serial TV shows don't have episodes every week. I mean, only soap operas do. So, I mean, I think really...
And let's be honest here. For all intents and purposes, this is a soap opera.
Oh, yeah.
It may be a sports-surrounded soap opera, but it's really a male soap opera.
Well, it's female too, but yeah, it's a soap opera. But
oh, come on, all the females that watch are... No, I'm kidding.
Great, be that guy, Joe. Be that guy.
Are Olympians.
Wait, women watch wrestling?
Only a few. We're not counting Diva Jill as a woman, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God.
Love you, Jill.
Joe at FTWpodcast.com.
That's right.
And it's Jill, so she will write.
No, she won't. I've got a filter to send all her emails to trash. Anyway.
They actually get forwarded Kevin's email, but he can't log in, so. All right, so this comment, again, these are all reactions to last week's episodes. This one is from C. Numerosi. He said, Cena needs the title for the fans. You guys are right about The Rock, but not about Cena.
Well, I'm a little unsure what exactly he means by we're right about The Rock and not about Cena. I mean, if Cena deserves it, I can't see how you would go against that. I mean, the man is company through and through. And the idea of saying, he needs it for the fans and then pointing to the little kids is such a cop-out of a debate. I mean, if you really want to debate whether or not Cena is good for the WWE, don't make a straw man out of the fan base and blame that. That's my only thing. But yeah, I mean, we were kind of right about The Rock. Thank you.
Violent Rick, who has quickly become our favorite commenter, is no longer angry this week. So there's that.
Well, he's a whole lot less angry this week when he finds out Lee's not on the show.
he was displeased that we were editing his comments. So just a quick FYI to everyone who's been sending us feedback, reacting to shows. We do chop up some of the comments just to get them quickly through the show. If we read your paragraphs upon paragraphs of information, it would make the show really long. And
and I even messaged Rick and told him, Lee did see the full comment, so yes, he knows your English as well. But yeah, it's a matter of time because after an hour and 45 minutes, man, we are tired.
And it's not even exactly. But it's not even that. It's writing stuff down and having and reading it out loud. It's really, really boring. You have to write for verbal conversation. That's completely different than writing it to be read. Writing something to be heard, like dialogue, it's just what you guys send us is great, but to read that word for word would just be the driest, sandiest thing.
Yeah, so
it'd be like a crotch of the beach.
It would be.
Yeah. So we're trying not to edit so it implies something that you're not implying. So apologies if that's what you thought we were doing. We're just trying to summarize it as best as possible. So,
and then by explaining it, taking over a large amount of the show that could be devoted to reading your comment.
Okay, so let me see what else he's. Oh, yeah, he was basically talking about last week about 2.0, how everyone was saying, this wrestler is 2.0 of that wrestler, and was criticizing the IWC in general. It wasn't actually an attack against us, and I think we all realized that. His thing was exactly what we said. It's where people use those terminology to dismiss a wrestler instead of continuing a conversation or starting a conversation. So we're totally on the same page. He also liked our insight about aces and eights, that whole storyline, and said it does make the show look like it's falling apart, and that's fine for long-term fans, but not so much for people who are just testing the waters. I'm usually happy to ignore the criticism of other fans, but I feel like if the fans turn on this story and brand it corny, TNA could lose their stride. So
Which
I
is a
can see
really
that.
good point. Yeah, it's a really good point. I mean, we kind of chastise people who criticize things a lot and say, well, you're not giving it a fair chance. But if enough of those people chastise something, then you might be onto something. So, yeah, Violet Rick has got a pretty good point there.
And now he's just docile, Rick.
Docile. Subdued Rick.
And his last comment was, I don't know why you guys are so displeased with Booker as GM. It's only on commentary that he's been groan-worthy, although I did like him on commentary. So many corny cliches, you gotta love it. And let me just step in here with my comment. I was originally against this idea, but actually after watching SmackDown and seeing how he handled himself, Booker T was a fantastic GM, I thought.
Yeah, I like Booker as the GM so far. Given the wrestling background, if needed, he can go in there and lay a little smacketh down. I liked him on commentary to an extent. Yeah, he was really bad. But, I'm also a fan of how Mike Adamle did commentary. I like the he's so bad it's good. I loved the Matt Stryker and Todd Grissom.
Oh, God.
Tandem.
Was anybody really anti-Booker as GM, though? I thought we were kind of we didn't like him on commentary, but let's give him a shot on GM. I mean, for me, he's more of a traditional general manager, like Garvin saying, former wrestler, or I'm sorry, like Joe was saying, former wrestler, can go out there and smack guys around if he needs to. Pretty good on the mic. I mean, yeah, he's terrible on commentary, but that's a whole different skill set. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're executive vice president of talent relations there can slap people around and get in fights with Brock Lesnar, I think a bookend coming from the SmackDown GM is A-okay.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point, Joe. Thanks. All right, so if you react to tonight's show, please do so by posting your thoughts on their YouTube channel right below where you're looking. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter and Facebook. We'll read them and react to them and edit them down so we can make them say whatever we want. But first up, we got to talk about Impact. Rob, Chavo Guerrero, Kid Cash. Tell me that wasn't awesome.
No, it was a great match, especially with Chavo Guerrero deciding to do the tribute to Eddie Guerrero with the 3 vertical suplexes in a row, and then ending the match with the frog splash.
I was really impressed with him. He wasn't as slow as he was in the WWE when he was doing the Three Amigos. He still doesn't have Eddie's speed on that to get to his feet.
I don't think anybody is going to have Eddie's speed on that. Eddie Guerrero got to his feet so fucking quickly doing that. It was almost inhuman.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it just comparatively, it looked so bad when Chavo used to do it. So I'm glad he was able to find out how to pick up his speed.
Yeah. The impression I got watching Chavo Guerrero was that he took the time off, probably from the no-compete clause that he had. He took the time off to probably rest up from lingering injuries and soreness and everything, and then he started training. He looked to be in fantastic shape for the match in general. It was the Chavo Guerrero Jr. that first entered wrestling, and that was with WCW for a while.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly, Rob. I mean, it's great to see him come in and just be better than what we thought he would be. I mean, it was fantastic. The Bound for Glory series. I mean, Bully Ray defeated Robbie E. by pinfall, and then James Storm defeated Kurt Angle by pinfall. And basically, what this does is James Storm now has 52 points, and Bully Ray still has 14. Now, I mean, one thing I want to talk to you about that, Rob. Bully Ray with this, or do they just think he's not really that important to the Bound for Glory series? I mean, he's doing great, but I don't know. I mean, I just feel like he should have more points.
I think so too, especially when I look at the names of some of the guys who are ahead of him. But I think too, one of the things is that Bully Ray has been doing so good with his character and everything. He doesn't really need the BFG push as bad as some other wrestlers do that need an excuse to get back into things. I mean, Bully Ray can be a main event level performer pretty much any time. So I think maybe they're using that, having him work through the tournament to help push other people, and then hopefully he'll get into a main event storyline down the line.
Oh, I would hope so. I mean, I can imagine he's at that stage right now where I don't even think he really needs a main event storyline. He's just kind of like, I'm out there, I'm having fun, I'm doing awesome. It doesn't really matter. Chat saying Chavo looked great. The fans gave him big respect. I can see him as a main event in the near future. Destination X 2013, maybe. And storyline is in the way of Bully Ray and AJ Styles. I'm still crossing my fingers for Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries for the TNA World Title. First off, Rob, how about that? Chavo main event for the next Destination X. See that happening?
Definitely. I mean, especially when you take into consideration, like I said, the family that he comes from. He's a third-generation superstar. He's proved himself. There are you've got some of the Guerreros that are working for TNA and other aspects outside of the ring. And he's got the talent level too. I mean, it's not like Chavo's somebody who needs extra help. He's definitely got the talent level, and with the X division as it stands right now, he definitely could pull an Austin Aries.
Okay. The other question I have from the chat that I wanted to kick your way is Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries for the title. I mean, Samoa Joe's got 47 points right now. James Storm is 52. I mean, this could be the big push that we've always been talking about with Samoa Joe. Do you think they'd give it to him, or do you think that they would use this basically for well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries is a possibility?
That would be such an epic match.
Right.
Although I feel sorry for Austin Aries trying to lift Samoa Joe up for a brainbuster. I mean, that's one of those things where Austin Aries just looks at it and says, "Yeah, no."
Evident. No, I'll drop kick him. It'll be fine. But do you think that TNA would? I mean, do you see TNA booking that? Because it seems like always get into the situation repeatedly where Samoa Joe has a push, we get excited, and then he's dropped.
Yeah, TNA's done that with a few wrestlers, but I really could see them pushing Samoa Joe versus Austin Aries. I mean, when I take a look at James Storm makes sense to win the Bound for Glory series, except that he's still got unfinished business with Bobby Roode. And the fans really want to see James Storm versus Bobby Roode one-on-one. So I think they're going to do that before they give Storm any serious push for the title.
Okay, cool. Real quick, Knockouts #1 contender match. The 4-way, Madison Rayne took out Tara, Mickie James, and Gail Kim. You happy with that? You happy with Madison Rayne getting a little push there?
I need to correct the record there. Madison Rayne did not take out anybody. Earl Hebner screwed over
Madison
Tara,
Rayne.
Mickie James, and Gail Kim.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And because he's acting like a fucking zombie.
Yeah, and it was hilarious. I mean, I had to laugh backstage when Madison Rayne is talking to Gail. Oh, Earl would never screw over anybody. I'm like, really? Montreal? Bret Hart? Really? Earl Hebner would never screw anybody over? Seriously?
All right, 2 quick questions.
Wasn't it him and his brother who were selling fake WWE merchandise?
It might have been, actually.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the fake merch. Yeah. God, I can't. TNA, I love you to death. Why is that guy collecting a paycheck from you? Gary Albone on our Facebook page wrote in 2 years ago, leading up to Bound for Glory, they brought in Immortal. 2 years before that, it was the Main Event Mafia. Main Event Mafia is 4 years old. Can TNA not come up with any new storylines, or do you think Aces and Eights will be more of a hit? What do you think, Rob? Real quick.
Right now, Aces and Eights is more of a hit. It seems to have more fan interaction. People are curious about it. It's not as cut and dry as Immortal or Main Event Mafia, but they're going to have to find a way to keep it going.
Okay. Horia wrote in, thank you, Garvin, for putting that phonetically. Where do you guys think the TNA will go with the Aces and Eights storyline? We know that they will possibly use it to debut some new talent, but where do you think they will take the storyline? They say personally they would like to see the stable feature a big name like Chris Harris, John Morrison, MVP, or Matt Hardy, or maybe like Garvin and I were discussing a while ago, Jarrett's return. What do you think, Rob? Do you think they'll use it to debut new talent?
I hope they'll use it to debut new talent. Not too sure exactly who that new talent would be. I think Jarrett's return is probably the most likely angle. Outside of that, we really talked about this last week, and we've been speculating at who's behind it for a couple of weeks now. So we'll just have to let the storyline develop a little bit quicker and see who was right and who was wrong.
When do you think?
I really think it's going to be like some of the gut check guys.
Yeah.
There we go. Joey Ryan is behind Aces and Eights.
I said some of the gut check guys. I didn't say they were in control. They just may be lackeys to like Jarrett.
But they haven't rejected everybody they got on that show. They've hired.
Doesn't mean they've put him in the ring since.
Well, technically, storyline-wise, Joey Ryan did not get the contract, and he's causing havoc.
What happened to Silva? We haven't seen Silva since.
No, that's a really good point. Developmental, maybe? Oh, no, that's where it came from. I don't know. That's yeah, I guess, Joe. I guess that's a fair point. Rob, when do you think this might all come to a head? Do you think Bound for Glory? Or do you think it'll be a little bit further on?
I don't think it'll. I think I don't think it can go much past Bound for Glory without some type of big reveal. It'll probably be one of the pay-per-views leading up to Bound for Glory, but they definitely can't go past Bound for Glory without some type of big revelation.
Yeah, it's probably fair. It does feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say running out of momentum, but it's getting to like, we're like, come on, let's get to the point here, Let's give
give that zit an injection or pop it, because something needs to happen.
Speaking of popping zits, Joe, SmackDown, worst segue ever, I apologize for that one, but still, Booker T is now the GM of SmackDown. Is the show interesting, Joe?
Well, what happens when you have Booker T come in and tell Teddy Long, I'm going to you're like my advisor. Tag team match. Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and Daniel Bryan beating Chris Jericho, Christian, and Kane.
It's a 3-on-3 match, totally different.
Oh yeah, totally different. Solid match, entertaining to see. I like seeing Miz in the ring working with Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. I like Chris Jericho and Christian working together. Is really where Chris Jericho started to come out back into more of a face role. It was awesome. You know, the fact that he's starting to reference himself as the Ayatollah of rock and rolla again. You know, doing the arms out pose. You know, it's awesome. Sheamus beat Tensai. Meh. I wanted a little more out of it. I like Tensai's work. I just, too many limes for Sheamus. Antonio Cesaro beating Santino Marella. Okay, WWE, you need to do something with this guy, with Cesaro, or something. Because get the U.S. title off Santino right now. Because he doesn't need it. He's not doing anything with it but dragging it down. Everybody's beating Santino. He's become a jobber again, and he's got a title. That you should not have a title around that jobber. If you're going to do it, at least put it on Tyler Rex or Kurt Hawkins. At least give somebody else a reign with it. Ryback defeated Jinder Mahal by DQ. Darren Young beat R-Truth. I love Darren Young's finisher. I'm just going to say it. It's beautiful.
You're not the only one, I can tell you that.
I mean, the fact it just throws the guy up and then, almost like a code breaker right to his chest. Beautiful. Yeah. And in the main event, Randy Orton beat Alberto Del Rio by DQ. I don't remember who said it on the Twitter, but Brandy Borton is really entertaining. No, he's fucking boring.
Yeah, that was all over our Twitter account last night too. Every time
it was awesome.
Brandy Borton. Yeah, it was pretty good. What about Ryback getting some mic time backstage?
I'm glad to finally see Pink Eye get some mic time. It's helping push the character a little bit. And hey, they need to do something a little more. We need to start seeing another facet of Ryback. If we don't start seeing that, then he's just carbon cutout. Bleh. Then he's becoming Monty Brown, where it's shoulder block, pounce, done. Because every match I saw of Monty Brown, that's all it was. Or for you WWE fans, Marcus Corban.
Yeah, is Pink Eye contagious?
Yeah, Scott Baio gives it to everybody.
Can't believe you said that. All right, so SmackDown. I mean, are you seeing good things coming from Booker T being GM? I mean, are you excited about that?
I am. I mean, like I already said, man, I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do in that role. Because going all the way back, we gave him a lot of shit, but then we did the Raw. They did the Raw Roulette, and Booker owned it backstage. Booker can own segments really well. Like when he was tag teaming with Goldust, and Goldust ended up in his bed. Like that shit was hilarious, and Booker can
so weird.
Booker can really pull some of those great blah blah lines, the weird awkward moments. He can really pull them off. But I think he could do that because he'll have a lot of backstage roles as a GM.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. Booker's really good going from the subdued, kind of he knows how to take it from 2 to 11, right then and there, and go back to 2 if he needs to. Like you're saying, Joe. I mean, he can react to a situation perfectly because he knows when to do it just enough that it's hilarious, but not too much where we're okay, you really got to tie the back body.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
Oh, nothing beats the long one. Shucky ducky, wait for it. Quack quack.
No, he's got. I wonder if Charmel's pissed. He's hitting on the Funkadactyls.
That would be a great segment. All right, so Raw. Raw was pretty awesome. I mean, it was 3 hours, so it felt like a marathon. I mean, it's one of these things where, we kept saying that we don't know if they can fill 3 hours. They can fill 3 hours, and sometimes it's gonna feel like 3 hours. I don't know about the social media, having. I'm getting tired of the social media thing. I mean, the idea that people would tweet to figure out who CM Punk's opponent is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, and Ray came out looking like, I don't know, he looked like a churro about to burst at the seams. He was looking kind of chubby in that little, that white onesie of his. Anybody else notice that? Anybody else notice he kind of looked like, or like you ever have a Twinkie left out in the sun and it bursts and it's all white and kind of puffy?
No.
You've never left a Twinkie out? As if someone's never been camping.
I'm a fat kid. What do you think I'm going to leave a Twinkie behind?
Christian, I don't know. I mean, it was okay. I mean, the only thing I didn't like about Alberto Del Rio and Christian was the fact that, Christian seemed like he was going to be the hottest thing coming up, and then he's just being left beside. And then Sheamus basically steals Alberto Del Rio's car. So, kids, remember, grand larceny is awesome if you don't like the guy. If everybody hates the guy, you're cool. I mean, and then he starts. It's just, it was one of those things where it was something that they used to do in the Attitude Era, which was fine because it was that absurd time. But now we're doing this PG, be a star, don't bully kids thing. And it's okay, though, because Sheamus just stole someone's car. That's fine. But it's okay. He's just borrowing it. He'll bring it back, which is why the cops are okay with it when he's taking video of his rampant crime throughout the streets of San Antonio. I just thought it was so ridiculous. Randy Orton versus Big Show goes to a double count out because this is a TNA pay-per-view now. Epico and Primo. I gotta be honest. Epico and Primo and Primetime Players, that was a phenomenal match.
Yeah, it was. It's just great to see good tag teams working together.
And not even it was just a good match. Like, even if you took these individual efforts, were still phenomenal. It wasn't like with a classic tag team match where they get the crowd going with the drama of the situation. All four guys did phenomenal individual work. It looked great. Forgettable Divas match. I'm not going to talk about that. Ziggler Riley with Jericho ringside was hilarious. I loved Jericho ringside wearing Ziggler's shirt, doing a tout, and that distracts Ziggler long enough for A-Rye to get the win. I just thought that was a great segment.
That was perfectly done because, if you watch the tout, Jericho gets up there and starts his bit, and you get the pin, you get the reaction. You get Jericho mocking the reaction.
Oh,
and then it pieces out. It was perfectly timed for those 15 fucking seconds.
Yeah, and hands down to Jericho for pulling that off. Because, like you're saying, it was perfect. Perfectly timed. John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. This match was so good. So good. And I remember sitting back, and the real wow moment for me was when Daniel Bryan had him in the no lock, and then John Cena reversed it into the STF. It was just a really, really solid. Oh no, wait, was it the other way around? Ah, shit! I can't remember.
It was the other way around.
I
don't know. I was really tired.
The thing, right? Because you went up for the entire day, and you just watched 3 hours of pro wrestling, and it bleeds together like some kind of fever dream. Regardless, whoever did it was great match. And then Big Show coming up at the end. I don't know. I was fine with Big Show near this storyline ever. I mean, I was fine with this Big Show near this storyline for a while now. I'm really getting tired of him there. It just feels like they're shoehorning him into all these segments, and it's just not working. Why are Primo and Epico getting over the Guerreros? They've been having awesome matches. I really don't know. I gotta be honest. I think it's because tag team matches aren't that big of a deal in WWE so much anymore, and these guys usually don't really have much of a hook. I mean,
here's the big problem I see with them. Epico and Primo started out as a heel, and they've never really defined them as a face team. because they were aligned with Alberto, or not Alberto, AW. Primo's always had the issue being with Carlito, not being with Carlito. You know, he's never fit himself into a groove, and Epico's just kind of like, well, whatever Primo's getting, I'm getting. So they really haven't given them anything other than Rosa Mendez to define them, and that still doesn't do anything.
They really haven't done much to really define them at all. I mean, it was just, they come in as a tag team. I mean, Eddie Guerrero really, I would say Eddie Guerrero really made a name for himself as a singles wrestler in WCW. That's where he cut his teeth. So I can't imagine the Guerreros, him and everything. It was like that. They kind of made themselves a name for themselves individually, and that's where their strengths were. Epico and Primo are kind of falling into that kind of hole where you can't really see them separately, because if they did it now, it'd be kind of weird. At least that's what I'm thinking. Chet saying they aren't appealing to the stereotype like Los Guerreros. Yeah, that's kind of true too. That was annoying. It wasn't as bad as Mexican. It's not as bad as Mexican America, but And Chet's also saying, I like them so far. I have my doubts that they'll be able to maintain what they've been doing, but I'll take it as long as I can have it. Yeah, that's basically how we're going to have to deal with it. I can't imagine that WWE is going to push them for very much longer. And they're saying, because the Guerreros had serious charisma and entertaining, and Primo and Epico don't have mic time. That's another thing, too. Eddie was really good on the mic, and I haven't seen Primo and Epico really cut a promo of any notoriety in a long time. As far as the 3-hour Raw, this is our third one, and it's better than the 2-hour Raws that we've been getting. I mean, that's what the chat, I'm agreeing with the chat on that one. But also, like the chat saying, the third hour was nothing more than additional video packages and more main eventers from Raw. Feed us more mid-carders. Not only that, tons of commercial segments. I mean, just tons of commercials, breaking up matches in really weird ways. I mean, they broke up the main event match with 8 minutes to go, I think they came back from commercial. It was just weird. It was a weird situation. 3 hours, if this is how Raw is going to go with 3 hours, it's doing about as well and about how we thought it would do it. I mean, you're seeing maybe two more matches and then a lot more segments and commercials. So this is Raw from now on. Buckle up, because that's what we're getting. From Raw, you guys tweeted us. PWS271 said, Raw was doing pretty sweet this week. Daniel Bryan is pure gold. I can't get enough of what he's doing every show. You're not the only one. Inner Tube Sean says, last week was better in my opinion. This week was bland. I don't know about that one. I mean...
I would say it's the other way around. I think that this week was better than last week.
I can kind of see that. Last week, for me, the problem with last week was, like we were saying, there's so many segments and video packages. Insane. Other than Punk's promo at the end of the night, nothing was exciting to me. Yeah, about Punk's promo at the end of the night, and I tweeted this to Joe. He wasn't on an arena mic. He was on the announce table. So everyone in the arena did not hear what he said.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is a lot of the shit that goes on between announcers, the crowd that pushes storylines, the crowd doesn't get to hear. And I think let's be honest, while WWE makes money on ticket sales, they don't care. They're all about the network shit at this point. They're looking for ratings, they're looking at all that shit, looking to push tout, they're looking to push Twitter. I really think that it was a much better effect for Punk to walk over, grab the mic, staring at Cole and Lawler and saying the shit he needed to say and throwing it down.
Basically doing the heel turn.
The crowd didn't need to exactly see it. And I'm sure they probably played it
And it keeps the crowd from reacting with cheers. Because then they can hype that up in video packages next week to show Punk is a bad guy and kind of a dick.
Right. I don't think it's a problem that he didn't get on a live mic, because he was talking to the announcers. He wanted to make sure the announcers heard him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it was a problem. I just thought it was, when it happened, I just thought it was, because usually they do these with the studio mics so you can get the crowd involved. But I think with Punk, like we were saying, he's so beloved that if they decide to do this to get around that, good on him. Is Biracial Angel. Wow. They're utilizing 3 hours better than I expected. Glad to see more wrestling. Wished for more HBK. The last match was good. I don't know about the HBK. Jigga Jigga Jeff.
That is an awesome Twitter handle.
You know what the best part is? Jigga Jigga is with J's and Jeff is with the G, which is just great. It's not like he spelled it like Giga Giga Jeff. It's Jigga Jigga Jeff, and I love it. It's just they need to quit with Big Show. He's so done. He's not even a threat anymore. I don't think so. I just think at this point, like we said last week, I mean, Cena's picking up Big Show. Oh my God, yeah, he's done it every time. I mean, the idea that Big Show is this giant threat to guys like Cena, I'm not buying it anymore. It's just he's beaten him too many times. Chad's saying if I was in the audience and Punk grabbed a mic and I couldn't hear it, I would be pissed. Yeah, that's basically my point. I mean, I can understand why the crowd would be pissed about that, but it keeps them from cheering when Punk's trying to make a heel turn. Plus,
the only way they could have made it make a little more sense is if they would have grabbed AW's headset. Then you would have been able to get a little bit of both. I like the fact, everybody seems to go for a regular standard mic. The fact that he just grabbed the headset, it's just so much more impactful. So much more.
Yeah, especially when the camera was panning in and he's holding it. You can see him like growling out the words and everything. It makes it sound like he's like, no, look you're going to fucking listen to me. And yeah, I mean, it was a great time for a heel turn. All right, so it's time for Ask FTW. You can ask us questions by emailing questions at ftwpodcast.com or send us a tweet at ftwpodcast using the hashtag AskFTW and post on our Facebook wall at facebook.com/FTWpodcast. Each one of us is going to get 30 seconds to sound off on what you have to say. So let's get started. First up, I don't know who sent this in, but thank you because this was actually a really good question that Garvin and I were talking about for a while. Hey, I know we were all kind of talking about the Hall of Fame this year. I'm curious how good of a name like Donald Trump would sound in there. Resume, he hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5, interviewed people at 7 and 20, Battles of the Billionaires, the hair match. Good fit for the New York, New Jersey area. Chris Purring. Oh, that's from Chris Purrington. Never mind. Sorry.
Thanks, Chris.
What do you guys think? Joe, Donald Trump in the Hall of Fame this year?
I'm surprised he's not already in. I don't think he's going to be in eventually, but I don't think we need to induct him now. Wait till later when he might not come back.
Okay. Rob.
I kind of agree with Joe on this. I mean, he makes more sense than some of the other celebrity inductees, but to me, it's not a you have to do it this year thing.
See, I disagree with you guys. New York is a perfect time. I mean, Donald Trump, as horrible with money and as bankrupt as many times as he's been, and what a terrible business person he is, he's synonymous with New York. So I can only imagine that it would be a perfect time to induct Donald Trump, not as the headliner, but definitely as the main celebrity. And then they could do he's the social media ambassador or whatever bullshit title they want to give him for one Raw. But, as much as I personally cannot stand the guy as himself or as a businessman or personally or his persona in public, or
anything related to him, yeah.
Anything about him, I cannot stand it. I really cannot. Although the one thing I do want to point out is he's a perfect example of why a personal brand is so much more important than reality. Anyway, he was integral to a lot of very important storylines, so I could totally see him this year, especially with the New York thing. Zach R. Wrote in, shouldn't SmackDown get rid of the Vault segment and showcase more talent? Joe.
Yeah, I think you need to showcase a lot more talent and not in these stupid squash matches. I don't need to see guys versus Ryback all the time. Let's actually put on some solid matches instead of squashes.
Okay. Rob?
Well, but if they do that, Joe, then what do they use superstars for?
They can do it there too.
I agree with Joe. I think the Vault segment needs to go and start showcasing their talent, start building an actual wrestling show.
Yeah, I'm totally in favor of getting rid of the Vault segment. I'm not entirely sure why they brought it off in the first place. Lee, I want to point out, Lee wrote in a bunch of answers to all this stuff. Apparently, he can read the doc, but he can't join another call. First off, he said that Donald Trump would be a better choice than most current Hall of Fame celebrities that are actually in there. Not better than... never mind. Anyway, he's saying it's time filler and for international markets, plus sometimes it's the best part of the show. No. It's nostalgia, which is kind of nice, and it's kind of cool that you can kind of see old matches, but put that stuff on YouTube. I don't want I mean, that's a mid-card match right there. And these matches, it's not like squash matches that they show. These are like 20, 30-minute matches that they do on there. So, Robert C. wrote in, this is going to be our question of the week. Actually, you know what? This is going to be our question of the week. I'll read it later. Lee from Wrestling... this fucking guy again. Is Daniel Bryan arguably the most over guy in WWE at the moment? The way he worked the crowd last night was simple, yet the most responsive all night. I think he's specifically talking about the Daniel Bryan Cena match. I say that because we were talking about it on Twitter at the time. Joe, what do you think?
What?
Is Daniel Bryan the most over guy?
You skip past what I... Okay, my bad. Is Daniel... Yes, I do think he's the most over guy. I think that Daniel Bryan he works. He works as a heel. He works as a face. He's got that connection with the fans. It's almost as good as CM Punk's connection when he started the face turn, where he was the anti-hero.
Okay, Rob?
Well, yes, I think you can make an argument for it. You can make better arguments, I think, for CM Punk. And you can also make an argument that Jericho, with his recent turns, is starting to get over. But yes, I definitely think Daniel Bryan is in the conversation as the star who's most over with the crowd at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Yeah, he was amazing in that Cena match. I mean, he had that crowd in the palm of his hand during that match, and it was amazing to see. And it wasn't even the overt stuff that he was doing; it was the subtle stuff too. I mean, it was like when he's sitting out there and he's just like, you can see him. He's like, and the only reason I bring this up is because Garvin does it too when he stroked his beard and looked out at the crowd. Like, oh, Christ, it's Garvin.
Well, I mean that, and he's managed to hit on gold with what happened to Austin with the what, when he started, the no, and started yelling at the crowd like, you're not allowed to use yes, only I can. He knows what to say to a crowd to get them to respond the way he does. We've been talking about CM Punk basically being the crowd favorite, but if Daniel Bryan keeps this up, he's definitely going to be passing CM Punk.
Okay. Violent Rick, our new favorite commenter, said, my question to you would be, why do you think people, ourselves included, read spoilers when they spoil the show? I prefer actually watching a story-based show to find out what's happening rather than reading text on a screen. He goes on to mention the butts in the seat incident with Mick Foley, and that the surprises and marking out moments are what makes wrestling so much fun, like when The Rock came back. So why sabotage that experience? Joe?
Because sometimes when you have to watch at least 5 to 7 hours of wrestling, not counting pay-per-views a week, you really do need to check out spoilers sometimes to see what points you need to make sure you watch. That's the only problem. The reason I do read spoilers. I also think that more shows should be live, so there aren't any spoilers.
Fair enough. Rob?
I actually do not read that many spoilers. I agree completely with Violent RIC. It ruins the experience and everything. He made a great point with the Foley asses in the seat remark and how that drastically changed the shape of WCW versus WWE, and is the lead reason why Tony Schiavone doesn't have a job anymore. It's a great point, and I don't know. I don't have an answer. I don't know why people read spoilers outside of what Joe said.
It's the same thing that people, they just want to know now. We're impatient. Personally, for me, when Dark Knight Rises, this entire time before I've seen it, no, I don't watch trailers. I didn't watch anything. I'm going to do the same thing with The Hobbit too. I don't do that because I like Violent Rick is saying right here, I don't want it to be spoiled. I want it pure. Give it to me exactly how I want it, because I don't want to go in thinking one thing and then find out it's something else, or I'm like, oh, it's like I saw The Hangover after everybody else had seen it, and I saw it after seeing the previews and everything and thinking this is going to be great, and the movie sucked. And the reason why it sucked is because all the good jokes were in the trailer. So it was like, what the hell was this? So I don't read spoilers for that reason, but people do because it definitely.
Congratulations on wasting your money
What? On
for the
Hangover?
Hangover. Yeah.
No, I bought it on DVD. I spent like $1 on it.
Oh, okay.
Now the thing is, us on the show, yeah, I mean, the problem we're running into is we like to predict pay-per-views, and we record on a Tuesday, which is prior to SmackDown and Impact. So we try, and so that way we can predict the pay-per-view in an apt and accurate way. We try to incorporate spoilers for those shows. But since we're doing pre-shows and everything like that, and stuff like, before the shows and everything, we might start phasing that whole aspect of it out. Chat's saying I don't always get a chance to watch SmackDown, so I check out the spoilers for that sometimes. That's another good reason too. I mean, sometimes you just don't have. What is it, Joe? It's 8 hours combined each week. No,
You figure 3 hours for Raw, 2 for SmackDown. You figure 2 for Impact. You got an hour of Superstars. Yeah, that's 8 right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and that doesn't even include a pay-per-view. I mean, that's insane. 8 hours of content each week.
Plus, really, we get together at about 7:30 to do our pre-show for this show. Plus the hour and a half to 2 hours we've been spending on it. It's just, ugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really want to have some time to take a piss.
Yeah, exactly. Plus NXT, Explosion, if you guys watch that, I don't know, it's getting to like saturation level. I don't know how I think we're going to have to splinter up. It'll be like, half and half. All right. So, do want to plug that we're doing our Hardcore Justice pay-per-view pre-show this Thursday, directly after the live Impact at 10 p.m. Eastern on FTWLive.com. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about Impact right after it ended, which is always fun. And then we're actually going to preview Hardcore Justice going in. So it should be a fantastic show. Definitely join us in there. It's always a lot of fun to do these because it's not a lot of topics. It's usually just the one, and we get a chance to really discuss things. But for our preliminary Hardcore Justice pay-per-view predictions, let's just dive right into it. Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Hernandez versus Gunner and Kid Cash. Anybody think Chavo's going to lose his pay-per-view debut in TNA?
No. Pay-per-view. No, Chavo wins.
Chavo and Hernandez are going to win.
TNA X Division title. Think Zema Ion drops to Kenny King?
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I can't see a lot of these happening. Tessmacher drops it to Madison Rayne. I don't know. Not with this past Impact. I mean, I think maybe another...
I think it's going to happen. I think that Madison Rayne's going to win this one.
Really? How long has Tessmacher had it? She's had it for 2 months now? Not even.
Month? No, a month, right? Reb?
Yeah, 1 month.
That seems so short.
So, yeah, I'm going to go with Tessmacher winning because I don't think they're going to take the title from her this quickly.
Yeah, I have to see, and I'm going to take Tessmacher too. I mean, she had how many losses before she finally got that belt? Man. All right, Bound for Glory Series 4-way ladders match. Should be actually pretty awesome. AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels. Who's taking who?
I'm going to go with Kurt Angle.
Going with Angle?
I'm going with Angle because I just can't. I don't know. I mean, Joe would be my other option, and while Joe's climbed up a ladder and given Kurt Angle a title belt, I just
and given Kurt Angle a title.
Yeah,
I love how you recall that while he's climbed up a ladder and given Kurt Angle a title belt.
There you go, buddy. What do you think, Rob?
I'm gonna go with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, me too. I mean, looking at just the layout of this, and then looking at the standings too, I just think that Samoa Joe, it's easy points here for this. Now, if this stupid question, Samoa Joe wins, he only gets 7 points, right? He doesn't get 21 because he defeated 3 other guys, right?
No, he gets. They were advertising that in these 3 4-way matches, the winner gets like 20 points.
Then maybe not Samoa Joe.
no.
Because that's a hell of a boost. Puts him at 67 over James Storm. Nah. What's we got? Angle. No.
Yeah, but look at who James Storm is competing with in his match.
Yeah, but he's not going to get 20 points. All right.
Yeah, if James Storm wins, he gets 20 points.
Yeah, I got James Storm mixed up with Rude. My bad. Anyway, yeah, okay, so moving on. I'll just stick with Joe. Bully Ray, James Storm, Robbie E, Jeff Hardy, four-way tables match. Who's taking who?
I think James Storm is going to win, which makes Samoa Joe winning pretty pointless, but eh.
I'm going to go with Bully Ray.
You're going to go with Bully Ray?
Bully Ray. It's a tables match, bitch. And, well, he could use the points, and it's not going to make that much of a difference.
That's a good point. It is a tables match.
Oh, man. Can you imagine if Robbie E got this?
I would, if Robbie E gets this, I would find a way down to Orlando, Florida, and shoot whichever member of TNA Creative came up with that booking.
Oh. Yeah, chat, Robbie E and Bully Ray. I don't know. I know, chat. I'm with you. I'm looking at this and I'm going, Robbie E. That would be the coup of the century. I mean, he'd go from, what's he got now? Robbie E has 5 points. He'd go 25 points. He would leapfrog 4 people. That would be epic. Nah, I can't. I'm gonna follow Joe. I'm going with Bully Ray because yeah, it is a table.
Yeah,
match.
I'm gonna change my vote and go with Bully Ray.
You fucking.
It's a tables match.
All right. Bound for Glory Series 4-Way Falls Count Anywhere match. Pope versus RVD versus Magnus versus Mr. Anderson. Who's taking whom?
I'm going to go with the Pope.
Going with Pope?
Even though he's from Green Bay, I have to go with the lead asshole, Mr. Anderson.
I mean,
Are we surprised? Nope, not surprised at all. Rob takes Mr. Anderson.
Garvin's favorite
Fuck
guy.
you, Joe.
Hey, I'm just saying you pick him a lot.
Well, and he usually wins when I pick him.
That's true. I don't see Pope winning this one. I really like Pope. Yeah, I'm gonna
Why
go
do I have Pope and Mr. Anderson?
No, I don't know either, but I'm deleting it. Oh, because that was supposed to be a J.
Yeah, that's you, Joe. Sorry, typo. TNA World Title match. Here we are. Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode. Anybody think Austin Aries drops the title to Bobby Roode?
Hell no. The only way they're going to do it is if Storm wins if Storm's going to win the Bound for Glory series, and I just don't think it's going to happen. Bobby Roode and James Storm do not need a title. They have enough history, and they can just reignite what they had before Storm took some time off. They don't need the title to be involved in this shit.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I'm going to go with Aries. I mean, with the way they've had Roode framing this, that Austin Aries beating him at Destination X was a fluke. Aries almost has to win. Otherwise, he loses all of the credibility he's gained.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like both of you said, but yeah, I think it says a lot to TNA Creative that Bobby Roode and James Storm don't need a title, and it could be the main event storyline match going into a pay-per-view. I think it's. Excuse me. I think it says a lot about TNA Creative. Just a reminder. Oh, chat's saying Aries. I can't say mention anybody would take Bobby Roode. Just another reminder, Hardcore Justice pay-per-view pre-show this Thursday, directly after the live Impact at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on FTWLive.com. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you join us. But now it's time for the news. Taker appeared at a Florida Championship Wrestling event in Tampa, Florida on Wednesday. When a fan noted that, like him, he attends WrestleMania every year, is that an insult or no? I guess not. The WWE, like if that's like a backhanded compliment.
No, not at all.
Like you, I only attend WrestleMania every year.
They didn't say only.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, it depends how you phrase it. The WWE superstar said, well, don't make any plans for April. The fan was in disbelief over his comment, to which the dead man added, we'll see what happens. That is going to be that's going to be a ton of emails. JTG dropped the pipe bomb on Twitter at WWE saying he's unhappy with the role currently played and people are afraid to speak out. Report says it's due to low WrestleMania bonus checks. He's also not the only one speaking out. Zack Ryder again was keeping up his act of being annoyed and having no match on Raw but only on Superstars. And you have to wonder if this is his personal opinion, how long it'll last. He said, quote, I'm pretty pretty sure I'm the second most followed person on Tout. In other news, I was in the second match tape for WWE Superstars this week. Hashtag, huh? Isn't there a website that says JTG? There's like a website that gives you a running countdown of how long JTG has been employed by the WWE, and it's just a countdown. It's just a running clock.
That's awesome.
I was going to say, JTG has a role with the WWE.
That's saying, yeah. Well, hey, he's getting.
They started something on Superstars, and I will admit that I have not been keeping up on my Superstars as closely as I've wanted to, where he was supposed to get a new look from who was it who was supposed to give him a new look? Was it Alicia Fox? And we never really saw anything develop from that.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, we never really saw anything develop from Alicia Fox lately.
I'll show her something to develop. What?
TNA Impact will be going live through September now. Dixie Carter announced on Twitter. Yay! Fantastic!
Woo!
Yeah. DJ Paulie D, also known as world famous DJ, Jersey Shore star.
Yeah, Paulie D from Jersey Shore. Yeah.
I honest to God, if he was in the room, I wouldn't know.
Yeah. All it would be is like tanning lotion and weed.
It would be a combination of. So it's Randy Orton.
Yeah, pretty much.
He will be the social media ambassador for Raw next week. Fantastic. I'm afraid to Google him. The only thing I know about Jersey Shore is I got from South Park. So WWE is a kid Brock Lesnar. And I learned a lot from South Park. Apology. I've learned a lot about. That was my tertiary education.
Yeah, I learned how they make an iPad.
Yeah, exactly. The Humacenta iPad. WWE is expected to give Brock Lesnar a contract extension after his current run ends at WrestleMania 29. How many appearances do you think he's going to get then? And it's good to see that Paul Heyman will be on TV some more.
Oh, they're going to increase it at that point. If he wants to continue after that, they're going to need to increase it for the WWE's sake. Do I want to necessarily see that? I would say give him a couple months to help wrap up any storylines, but after that, no.
Really? Because I like Heyman because, man...
I love Heyman. Don't get me wrong. I love Heyman on the mic. He's an amazing talker. But I do want to see, and I've said this on a couple of forums recently. I've said it on Twitter. People are giving me shit. I want to see WWE move on from this bullshit of heading back to the Attitude Era constantly when you got guys like Triple H and Brock Lesnar, taking up spots where they could be developing other guys. We don't need 50 recaps of the fucking Brock Lesnar Triple H segments because, really? You guys are old. We already seen it. We've seen it 50 times. Don't need to show it to us from another angle of the same damn segment. Just move on.
You know what?
WWE.
What's frustrating about that more than anything else is it almost gives the opinion that somebody in WWE creative has sat down and looked at it and said, okay, we hit a grand slam in the Attitude Era. We're never going to top that. And so they're just kind of phoning it in and trying to relive the past rather than building the future when the WWE has the talent where they could do something on the level of the Attitude Era or even better. But they're just refusing to try.
Mark your calendars. Rob said something nice about the WWE. Also, apparently, according to the rumor mill, TNA really wants Velvet Sky on their roster. So who knows what they're going to give her to get her to come back, Velvet. We still love you.
I think it's all Taz. I think Taz is actually giving up his salary to attempt her to come back so he can let the pigeons.
I miss the pigeons. Undertaker, Triple H, Vince, all superstars, and basically the entire roster celebrated HBK Appreciation Night after Raw ended with a 15-minute celebration. Taker had a little segment where he came out. You can read all about it. I don't know if anybody took video, but I'd be surprised.
No, there's video. I don't know if it's on our YouTube or if it's on our Facebook page. I'll make sure it gets there. I saw it on a forum. They even brought back Johnny Ace.
Yeah, I saw that, and HBK super kicked him like twice. Yeah.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, so that was the 15th. It was crowd pop. all it was. It was pure candy. Now it's time for Garvin to walk us through the season 3 of the FTW Draft. Take it away, buddy.
All right. Well, last week we had talked about the idea where there was going to be a few changes. We announced basically who was involved. Today on this show, I'm gonna basically run down the changes that we made to hopefully make the game a bit better. First of all, we made some changes to how we score points. There are now bonus points added for scheduled pay-per-view matches and pay-per-view wins. Also, tag team wins will now earn 3 points instead of 2, and count-out and disqualification wins will earn 2 points instead of 1. For more information about the overall scoring of the draft, you can go to ftwpodcast.com/draft, and everything is there from last season. Everything will be updated in the next couple of days for the upcoming season. Also, we changed the team setup. As we said last week, we increased the amount of teams to 16 instead of 12, which means there's going to be a lot less wrestlers available. So to accommodate that, there's now 4 wrestlers per team instead of 5, which should help. Also, we're removing the restrictions on teams so that you don't have to have 2 from WWE and 2 from TNA. You now can have 3 from WWE and 1 from TNA. There just needs to be 1 from each company, and then the rest are wildcard. You can do whatever you want with them, which I think is pretty nice, especially for Rob. So now Rob's going to have 3 TNA guys instead of just 2. Also, we now have 4 trades with the bank instead of 2, so that should help in releasing some dead weight from your roster. You don't have to wait till the end to use your draft picks. It just gives everyone a little bit more leeway. And we also brought in Explosion and Superstars, which should increase the amount of wrestlers available, even if just by a little bit. I know Explosion sometimes has main eventers wrestling, but Superstars they add a lot of low card guys there, so it'll be nice. And Zack Ryder actually wins on Superstars, so he can be used in the draft. We chose against using NXT and ROH. I know that was a common request both in Season 1 and in Season 2. We chose against it because NXT is still not widely available, just like ROH. Only a small portion of our listenership can find it in a good time. So we're hoping by next season, Season 4, which is going to be in 2013, we're hoping by then ROH and NXT are actually going to be on TV, for a larger audience, and then we can pull from them as well. The last huge change that we made was we brought in a playoff system. Basically, if you were paying attention for Season 2, right about halfway through the season, Mike won. We knew Mike was going to win, and it got pretty boring for everyone at the bottom. So what we wanted to do, not necessarily, this isn't a...
Garvin, you can mention me by name when you say the bottom.
Well, I was down there too. I was scraping by my fingernails trying to get out from last place. So
yeah, apparently I'm FTW's number 1 bottom.
Yes, but you're the number 1 pick in this season, which should do you pretty well, hopefully. But yeah, so we're going to bring in a playoff system, and what that means is that it's not just going to be obvious who's going to win once we get to a certain point. We're going to bring a 4-team playoff. So the number 1 seed, the team that has the most points at the end of the season, they're going to go up against team number 4. Team number 2 is going to go up to team number 3. The winners of that week will advance to the finals, and then there will be another 1-week playoff to decide who is the winner. So it's not guaranteed like it was in Season 2, which is pretty slick. But we sent out a tweet, and the tweet basically read, us versus them. And it was a lot of people tweeting us back like, what are you talking about? So here's the explanation. The playoff system isn't going to be just the top 4 teams. It's actually the top 2 teams from 2 divisions. We split this up, 8 teams in one division, 8 teams in another division, and those 2 divisions are going to be filled with one of 2 types of participants. Division 1, FTW staff. That includes every one of us that is on the air, over the last couple of months. So Mike, Lee, Joe, everyone you're listening to now. The other division is going to be filled up with you guys. So Diva Jill, we're even throwing in OK Fabe in there, RKO Voices. The listeners are going to decide, are going to basically compete against each other to decide who the top 2 listeners are, and then they will advance to the playoffs. Us, 2 from FTW, 2 from the listeners, to decide who is the overall champion of season 3. So, pretty cool, I think. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you, the listeners, think about that, but I think that'll increase a lot of the interactivity between everyone.
Woot.
And the final rule, this is a must. You must shit talk. We had too many people last season that just ignored the draft once they got in it. Rob.
I
Greg?
did not ignore. I ignored the draft once it became clear that Mike was going to win.
That doesn't mean you can't shit talk, dude.
Yeah. Greg was another one. No
I don't
offense,
shit
Greg.
talk very well. The last time I tried any type of shit talking, I was in high school.
Well,
Bullshit. You've been on this podcast since episode 3. You know how to shit talk, bitch.
So, we want to hear you guys talk about this. So, as soon as you guys leave the show tonight or this week, hop on Twitter and start trash talking Harrison like now. That'd be fantastic.
Like now.
One question, Garvin.
Yes,
When are you announcing who's involved?
last week.
Oh, we did that last week?
Yes.
I forgot that part.
But
My bad.
we have not announced the draft order yet. Draft order will be announced. Actually, draft order needs to be announced this week because the first pick will be next week. On next week's show, Joe, you're going to have the first pick. You're going to announce it during the show, and then the next day we're going to do the live draft. So I'm going to post all that stuff on ftwpodcast.com/draft. But definitely get involved in the shit talking. Use Tout, use YouTube, use Twitter, use Facebook. Any type of audio that you guys can send us, either MP3 or video, we'll play it on the site, or I'm sorry, we'll play it on the air, and react to it. So definitely want to get you guys involved. So, and that's it.
Awesome.
I am so pumped. You have no idea when the idea of the divisions was kicked around backstage with us, and then it was basically us versus you guys. So excited because we are going to crush you guys. We are going to crush you. It's going to be fantastic. And the reason why is once it gets to the playoffs, then it's totally us versus you. I mean, it's on at that point. It's going to be great. All right, time for win, fail.
Women wrestlers aren't getting paid? Why do you do a job?
Here's your win
You do any job,
and fail
is to fucking get paid!
of the week.
Wins of the week, Joe.
Yeah, you want my win of the week? Here you go. My win of the week is the last episode of Zack Ryder's True Long Island Story, poking fun at the constant recaps on Raw. You saw the Big O doing his leg workout, and you saw him do a few pumps on the machine, and they cut away, and like 2 minutes later, they go back and they recap it, and they show it to you again. They did it like 3 times, like, why are you doing this? He goes, I don't know. If we could do it on 3-hour Raws, we might as well do it here.
Yeah, it was that was weird, and so was the what was it, the tall man stuff, where with the aluminum foil that shot out from the guy.
Yeah, the Slender Man stuff, that was all messed up.
So weird.
It's all Trent Beretta, bitch.
So weird. Rob, your win of the week.
My win of the week has to be Chavo Guerrero's first match. Like we talked about earlier, the guy looked fantastic, and the tribute to Eddie Guerrero was a nice touch to cap it off.
Awesome. My win, I have two. My win is Chavo because of when he did the frog splash, that goosebumps, because I was like, oh, that takes me back. And my other win is tied with Lee. Daniel Bryan was phenomenal on Raw, bookend to bookend. The guy was money. Lee wrote in and said that Daniel Bryan, the main event was great. He worked the crowd so well, and his skills with the no were great. Honorable mention for CM Punk's 30-second pipe bomb at the end, which was really good. He was just Daniel Bryan, just honor roll. Joe, your fails of the week. Go, Joe.
My fail of the week is HBK being involved in the Triple H Brock Lesnar match. Don't want to see it. Don't care. Don't want to see a super kick to Brock Lesnar or to Paul Heyman or to Triple H. Don't want to see it. Go home. Stay home. Be retired. Quit coming back for every single fucking paycheck they want you to come back for, HBK. I'm losing so much respect for you for doing it.
Okay. Rob, your fail of the week.
Joe took mine. I'm actually going to agree with it. HBK needs to stop being a sellout. Just enjoy your retirement. You've got nothing left to prove. Quit coming back every time the WWE says, oh, we really need you to come back.
Awesome. My fail of the week, really, just 3 hours of Raw. I got to be honest. They really got to put in their mission in the damn thing, because Raw needs a halftime. Raw needs 15 minutes where I can get up, get away from the couch, put down my iPad so I'm not tweeting anymore, and just kind of like walk around a bit, just kind of take a breath, because man, it's tough. It is so tough to stay with that. Fail from the chat. Everyone who thinks they're going to beat me in the draft, and HBK, stay the fuck home, Sean. That was from Diva Jill, who's clearly having a stroke, who thinks that she's going to beat us, which isn't going to happen.
Congratulations, Garvin. You gave her permission to shit talk. Now she's never going to shut up.
Oh, like she would ever shut up in the first place.
That's a good point, Joe.
No, but now she's got to do it on tout, so that's got to be...
Well, the last time she sent us audio, it sounded like she was inside an oil drum, so this will be pretty fun. But Diva Jill, bring it to tout. Let me see what you got. Let's see you shit talk better than Joe, because I got to be honest. If you want to see shit talking extraordinaire, Joe is the man to do it. I'm terrible at it because I'm just very, very mean. Lee's. Matt Stryker only just realizing that the Twitter tout thing caught onto the yes connection, which was 4 months ago. So I don't know. I think Matt Stryker was just on vacation. Who knows? Our question of the week for you, not draft related. Robert C. sent this in, and we really wanted to bring it up. SummerSlam is going to have its 25th anniversary this year, in case you didn't notice. Question he asked is, in 25 years of SummerSlam, what was your favorite SummerSlam match? And we're going to discuss it next week with our SummerSlam discussion. So let us know. We're going to put that on. Let us know via Twitter, or we're going to pop that on our Facebook page. Let us know, what was your favorite SummerSlam match in the entire history of the thing. All right. Wait.
I'm going to throw out my favorite SummerSlam match of all time. Ultimate Warrior versus Ravishing Rick Rude for the WWE title, or WWF title at the time, in the old classic blue steel cage. That's right. Bobby the Brain Heenan ringside. Epic match.
Like, that was what, SummerSlam,
91. 90 or 91, one of the two.
That was a long time ago. Chad saying Undertaker versus Undertaker. No, I'm striking that from the record. That was never said. And that
Unless it came from Diva Jill.
Yeah, probably.
It did, I'm telling you.
That's the show. As you can tell, we do this in our spare time. We try and rock as much as we can, and to help us do that, we would like you to basically send us some of your money. But if you can't do that, head to theftwpodcast.com and click on the support tab. There you can donate or buy a t-shirt. We really appreciate it. If you want to support us in other ways, you can find links there to rate us on iTunes, rate us on Stitcher, subscribe to us on YouTube, view and like our videos. Spread the word, tell your friends, treat us like herpes, and just let the love fly forth. Let us know and help you get through the week that was in professional wrestling. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. You are epic as always, and we record every FTW podcast episode on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, and since Lee's not on, I don't have to give two shits about Greenwich Mean Time at FTW.com. Check us out this Thursday at 10 after Impact. We're going to be talking about Hardcore Justice and the Impact that just happened. It's going to be great. Oh, it's going to be great. Look forward to you guys. See you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for hanging out. Later.
Go to hell, Diva Jill.